Shami, Glen limit or vodka? Kevanti, קצת מות אמרס בסמרובה. לא מהשש, אנחנו לא מהשייטים. היי, דרם, דרם, בם, 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 דרם, בם, 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 בם. זה נקרא לייק, נכון? דרם, בם, 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 דרם, בם, דרם, בם, דרם, בם, 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 בם. Meisha, 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 Allah. Hey, la la la, pam 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 pam. I don't know. They're doing what Malka is coming to. What else? What Malka is having gesagt. That's me by Yidin, the farm. No. Have the Mirabs gesagt, L'chaim? L'chaim. Yola, hoppa. You're a lady teacher, right?
His brother.
That's why I was asking. I wasn't sure which name it was. I got you both.
Shayla's husband.
Mendel comes. I have a meiser for you. Mendel, I have a meiser, a special meiser for you, Blan Malta. And I have a meiser of the Indian with those geret, the literature Indian with those geret. Where are you taking Meshla? You're joking. You're going now on for a room furnishing? Where? No. I'm going to say a story without you, Mandy. I missed the whole story.
You can see it with the video.
What?
You see it? You can see it. It's recording ready.
Oh, recording ready?
Yeah.
Okay, if I say,
You can see it.
I'm not going to say a story yet. I have a special message for the recording. So, L'chaim, first of all, and I want to tell you, Kalman, you say L'chaim also? Come, say L'chaim.
I'm Sprite.
Be Sprite. It could be something else. Pastors, everything. Oh, I think it's Sprite. Oh, if you're not going to take it, Malo is going to take it. That's going to be the end of it.
I don't like.
And I don't like mashka. You're going to say L'chaim anyway. What do you think? L'chaim is about what you like?
They like something. They don't like Sprite.
Okay, okay. Kfiyah datit is, anyways. So sit down, the Miravski Shlita. I want to say that if anybody is watching this live, that they should, if possible, I don't know if it's possible, they should get out of their house or wherever they are, and they should come to actual Farbrengen, because it's not nothing. You can't couch surf Farbrengen. It doesn't work. It works. I don't tune away. I'm just saying if it's Meglach, it's better than other things you can watch.
More live.
But if you come, you'll connect with other Yidden. Farbrengen, you know what Farbrengen means, literally? Harav Namirovsky, you know what Farbrengen means? It means to spend time together, literally. I went to Germany. I was in Germania, in Deutschland, and they have a Aussprach, Zeit verbringen. Verbringen alone, they didn't understand what it means. Zeit verbringen means to spend time. Oh, das ist gerät. Rabbi Sobel is da, kann man schon verbringen. L'chaim, I was just telling anyone watching on YouTube that if they're able to, they should just come. Because just checking. You were watching on YouTube, was it? That you should just come sit with us, verbringen with us, you'll be able to eat from us, verbeißen, you'll be able to say L'chaim.
You're sitting here, I'm sitting here.
1334 Lincoln Place, Brooklyn, New York, 11213, right side of the street. in literally and also in Indian. It's the right side of the street. L'chaim. So today's parsha, we'll start with the Maisa because it's Mav Malka. It's there's a Maisa. Oh wow, I did not hit the spot. I hit the wrong spot. From the Pre-Slichos Farbrengen. Rabbi Yusewitz. So in this week's parsha, it's Moshe. Oh, Weiser Gela. You say. Gela.
Yeah, Gela.
Okay, you got Weiser round one. You're gonna take Gela round two.
Moshe Levy is asking you today for break.
Where's Moshe? He's in town. He came in town. I don't know. I don't know your tolerance.
He's watching on YouTube.
He's watching on YouTube. Okay, if it's more than an hour drive, you're exempt. What?
No, he's here. He's in town.
Okay, so you better come over. Moshe, come. Anyway, starting with the Maisa. So the Baal Shem, the Tzemach Tzedek. This week's parsha. Okay, I'll tell you why after. I don't want to spoil the story. The Tzemach Tzedek used to give his Einiklach every day. You heard? Every day the Tzemach Tzedek would give his Einiklach.
Every day, half coin.
Every day, 5 kopkas.
5
kopkas, yeah. 5 kopkas. Allowance, pocket money. One day,
Isn't it called Copex?
Kopex is called in America. In Rusland, it's called kopkas, I think.
Oh, you want to do something.
Anyways, so one Sunday, the kinder they come to the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Tzemach Tzedek gives them, instead of 5, he says, I'm going to give you this week, I'm going to give you now 30. Why am I giving you 30? Because there's 6 days in a week, 5 kopkas a day, 5 kopkas a day, 6 days a week. There's 30 kopkas. So I'll give you one installment instead of, you don't have to come every day. I'll give you for the week. If you want, you can still come every day. But if you want, I'll give you a lump sum and you'll take. So all day Niklach took the 30. Besides for the kinder of the Rabbi Marash. The Razar, the Zalman Aaron, and the Rashab, Sholmberg. They decided they're coming every day. One day that week, I'm sure the Mevinim will be able to, or the Yodim will be able to tell you what day of the week it was. Razah came a little bit late, and he encountered the Rashab with Yom Tov G'tvach. So we're saying the Tzemach Tzedek would give his Einiklach 5 kopkas a day for allowance. 1 week he offered them a lump sum on Sunday, take 30. If you want to still come, you can come. So only the Razah and the Rebbe Rashab, the Einiklach the Kinder, said they're going to come. They want to come every day. So one day, the Razah tzach verspätigt, the Zalman Aaron came late, and the Rebbe Rashab said that he had already been into the Tzemach Tzedek. So the Razah said he still wants to go, so maybe come back, they'll go back together. So I turn around to go back, we get to the Tzemach Tzedek's house, and Shishin given der Nacht. Yeah, you can. Shishin given lacher up to when the Rebbe Marash, the Razah told his father that Marash that he missed we didn't get a chance to meet to get him to go to the Tzemach Tzedek that day. That Tzemach Tzedek said, "Oh, he was, you lost out." He said he lost out the They gave him everything, and 16 years later, it was already. The Marash passed away, and Chassidim wanted the Razah. Rabbi Zalman Aaron was the older of the two, so the Chassidim wanted to mekabel the seas of the Razah, and the Razah said no. And at one time he had an opportunity. At one Galega night he mentioned to the Chassidim that one of the reasons why he said no is because his father told him that the Tzemach Tzedek gave everything to Rebbe Rashab. So why am I telling you this story? First of all, because it's connected to the Parashas Shavua. because it's the days of Moshe Rabbeinu's Ptira. Moshe tells Yidden, my day is coming close. So it's the Me'ina Parsha. But also because we are gathering, we're preparing for Slichos, and we live, Baruch Hashem, we're very optimistic, positive people. We have emunah, we have betochen, and we could sometimes feel like what's coming, whatever I'm supposed to get, I'll get. If I come early, if I come late, I'll always be exactly on time. And from this story, you've seen that you'll get what you're going to get. That every Shabbat was supposed to be that bad. Everything was supposed to happen exactly the way it's supposed to happen. But first of all, that other Enikach did not have the seichel to come every day. And even the Razah, who did have seichel to come every day, I don't know if I'm gesagt, it's gelost verspätigen, or they used to ungemacht verspätigen. The point is that you could come late and you could miss the Gelegenheit. So Mendel was earlier talking that Slichos stuff. You have to realize that even though we always think, whatever we need is good, everything is good, whatever we do is good. You have to know that you shouldn't pass a Gelegenheit. You have a Gelegenheit to connect with Eibishter, Gelegenheit to ask for Slicha, Mechila, to connect with Eibishter. You shouldn't pass it up. So that's yeah. Another Maisa, the Baal Shem Tov Mendy, a frische Maisa from Baal Shem Tov. Imagine. Oh, I don't know. You have to ask.
We need chashuv people with white beards.
That's why I'm saying all the way.
Here's about it. And a Maisa. There was a Yid. Here's Mendy. The elderly Yid, and he never had children. And the Baal Shem Tov, and he was always muching the Baal Shem Tov for a bracha for kinder, until the Baal Shem Tov was maftiach he'll have kids. Here's Mendy. Here's what the Baal Shem Tov promised him children, and he still, what didn't happen so quick, I think he had to much a little more. In Taka one day, his wife is expecting, and they have a baby boy. Nebach, within a few days, the boy is showing given. He passed away. So he runs to Baal Shem Tov in ganzen zerbrochen. Was hast du mir noch getan? I begged you and I begged you and I begged you. But this is das doch gemeint. It would be better not to have anything than to have a baby and then to lose him like that. Baal Shem Tov said, I promised you a baby. And there's a simon, the baby will live. The baby will live. Okay. And he felt like he couldn't. He went back. He waited for something up. So that should happen. The baby should come back to life. Nothing. So he came back to the Baal Shem Tov. I think. A kid said the baby wasn't coming back to life, and he didn't know what. He didn't know. He didn't have a face. He didn't feel right to go back to Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov promised him a baby. The guy never had a baby. And then the baby was born. A few days later, passed away. The baby passed away. So I go back to the Baal Shem Tov. And he says, "Well, what's the middle ton? I would better nothing." Baal Shem Tov said, "I promise you a baby. Baby will live." So he goes back. No, the baby will live. So he goes back. The baby's dead. He goes back, and the baby is waiting for the baby to move. Nothing. And he really felt like the Baal Shem Tov said such a haftacha. He felt bad to ask again. But he could not do nothing. So he came back to the Baal Shem Tov and about something else. And then he said, "Oh, by the way, should I?" He says, "By the way, no." He says, "Should I prepare for the bris? Who should I be mechabed?" So the Baal Shem Tov says, "For sure." A chassid, the story from Shivchei Baal Shem Tov. That was the story. He says, you should for sure prepare a bris, and he told him to be mechabed with Santa Claus and with the Mila. And the Baal Shem Tov said, I'm going to come also. By the bris, they do the bris. And there's no dam. Yeah, there's no dam. The baby's not living. There's no blood. No, the baby's dead. It's not.
No, I'm saying
If you cut a dead person. Anyways, they make the bris. And the Baal Shem Tov starts making the bracha. And he says, and he stops. And he waits. And the baby comes back to life. And the blood hebt uns gegessen, die Kodesh mit Yisrael, und hat gelebt, ein gesunden Leben. I want to say that the Allah Chasuch Ribonim sollen haben Kinder without drama, no drama. Shivchei Abal Shem Tov, black and white, my friend. This is a Emes Meises, das Wissen. So da bei Schäfer auf der Welt, und dabei da Schäfer hat uns geschickt, Tzadikim, wir sehen, and yeah, why is it wichtig? Because you think that you're dead, Benuchnis, you're dead, and you're not only you're dead with the Orla. Yeah? Imagine a person dies, nicht gemalt today. We had in today's parsha, Molavayas Lvavcha. Yeah? So we, a lot of us are Arelim. And we have Orla Salev. And not only do we have Orla Salev, we think if we're Shen Lachra Maisa, we're dead. And if you cut us, we're not even going to bleed. Nebuch, we, how many of us, I heard a story today about a Shliach who was by Farbrengen, he was drunken, and he was bawling, he was crying. And I asked him why he was crying. He said that he took his family on a little trip, they were on a hike, and they met a Yid, and the Yid hadn't put on tefillin, and he was willing to put on tefillin, and he didn't have tefillin. And the guy probed a little bit, and he said his son-in-law had tefillin, and he put on tefillin with him. The guy got tefillin. But how could it be that I am traveling around the Chassid Rebbe without tefillin? My point is, that's what it means to bleed. That's what it means to bleed. You have a chesarden, und ze badet. Ze stert. You're cut and it bleeds. Some people have a cut that doesn't bleed. How many times I was in a situation I didn't have tefillin, and I don't cry about it because it didn't bleed. Then you think that you're dead and you have an orla. And the Rebbe will take care of you. You make a bris milah, and we will come back to life. That's Altam Lav Malka. That's Altam Lav Malka. That was just the Lav Malka. The Achon L'Shlichus begins now. And I want to tell you like this. This is a noisa that we cover every single year.
Okay.
Every single year, we have the same shaila, or we don't have the shaila. We speak about the same nekuda, and this year's like year, like every year. We're going to speak about the nekuda. Shaila is azay. We're preparing Achon L'Chaim. Chaim.
You to go? Right.
We came to make a Achon for Slichos together. We're making a Achon for Slichos together, and we're going to say Slichos together. And the Shaila Fretzach, what does it mean to say Slichos together? Slichos, the Chiber Beten. Slichos means Iber zu Beten. If you ever ba'avul somebody, yeah, Chas v'sholem, even if the person that you ba'avul wasn't really an avla, but the other person saw it, let's say a wife. Sometimes it happens, a wife imagines that her husband said something or did something or thought something. And she needs Mizol Iber Beten. I'll show him by his tip of the day. If your wife even thinks that you need to apologize, that you apologize. That's the Shalom by his tip of the day. Even if you didn't ba'avul, if you have to apologize, yeah. Mendel, do have good Shalom bias. I'm talking to you.
Catching up.
I told you not to walk out. Now you have to catch up, and I'm benichshul. Mendel has good Shalom bias. I'm sure. I never got a call from him. Come, let's make a chanas ibris beten. Come with me, let me ibris beten. Even if we both ba'avul the same person, I would never write a group apology. You make an apology. You go zwischen Vierregen. You make sure that the person understands you're sincere and you mean you're not checking off a box. You came to apologize. It's not a group sport. So what does it mean that we're going to daven together? We're going to go together and show and say it's not a group activity, right? And the Parshas Nachon is also not a group activity. I know, but it's interesting. We always say Hashem Bagadnu. We say Hashem Bagadnu, but we all clap in the Rav. I never saw somebody Hashem Bagadnu. We say Lashon Rabim, but we clap only Lashon Yachid. And so what does it mean? So what does it mean that it's a group activity? Like why are we together? The answer is that and you'll see really in Slichos we don't really say the focus is really very very. Anyway, what's the point of Iber Betten? Iber Betten is not so much the details. It's not so much what you did. It's the fact that you were able to. How could you do such a thing, right? How could you be on a mountaintop a chassid without a pair of tefillin? It's not that the guy didn't put on tefillin; he put on tefillin on Maisa. But you, how could you in your world be moving around through the world without a pair of tefillin as a chassid of the Rebbe? That was what was bothering that shliach. It wasn't that the guy didn't put on tefillin. Maisa he did. Same thing with slicha mechila. Why does a person do an avera? Person does an avera because in the moment he thinks that tainug and toiv will come from some other place other than the Eibishter, right? He thinks the Eibishter said no, it's not good, and you think that it is good, right? So, in other words, you're living in a world. You spend time in a world, and you embrace the reality, which is not emes, first of all, but which is also not with the Eibishter, right? A person Chazal works on Shabbos because Eibishter said you're not going to make an extra dollar on Shabbos. The world said you will make an extra dollar if you work on Shabbos. So he went to work on Shabbos. That means that he moved from the Eibishter's world and he went and inhabited some other world temporarily. It's not even a real world, but he in his head he was in a different world. He was in a space where this was appropriate and it was beferish not appropriate. That's what every apology is, because I was in a place where this seemed to be the right thing to do. This seemed appropriate and wise, and it wasn't. Because either because I was not thinking or because I was mistaken about what I was thinking, whatever the details of each individual thing. But the slicha mechila, the tshuva is the same. It's not so much tshuva samishka, I'm doing this, doing that. The point is, get away from the sheker and connect to the emes. Move away from the reality where it looks like klipas can bring you benefit, and go back to the emes, which is that only emes is only Eibishter. That's what we're really trying to do. Is we're trying to pop a bubble and get back into the Eibishter's world, and that is a group activity. That is a group activity. And I want to say that's really what we're trying to do with Tishrei, and that's why we're culminating in Kabbalas Malchus, right? It's not Hatolas Malchus; they're just not imposing on it. We're Makabel Malchus. We're trying to move into the Eibishter's world, and to live in a world where we embrace and accept the good kind of the Eibishter, and that involves a lot of different things. Obviously, there's Sur Merah and there's Asay Toiv. But I'm gonna say l'chaim. I want to get practical for a second. Talk about bris, as arlas levavchem, and we kochsach beker in Chabad, we kochsach in Asay Tov. In heben sich auf atafachecher to connect to Tamuru Ukitei Vavaya. We focus a lot on that. And that's the ultimate. That's the derech, and maybe it's necessary, especially in the preparation for slichas, to speak a second about the Sur Merah, and not to gribble in the Rachas V'Sholom, but to say the emes k'moshe, and the emes k'moshe is like Moshe Rabbeinu said. Moshe Rabbeinu saw the sneh, he says asura nove'era, right? So Rashi said, that's a weird thing to say. Let's go over there. Let me go see. That's how you say it. Let me go see. You don't say let me leave and see. Let me leave where I am and look. You say let me go look. Why? Says Rashi, you have to leave here in order to get there. You can't get there if you don't leave here. And it's obvious. But there has to be said. Sometimes it has to be said. You can't get to the time of Uketei Vavaya properly in a way of kviyas, in a way of isyashos. Of course, you can get a yad of rachmarim. We could go into Tishrei, we can go to Slichas, Aminus Eider, Shmakileinu, Hashem Alikeinu, and all the spine tingling goosebumps from Slichas, and the moment it's swept away by the crowd. If you want it to be isyashos, if you want to live in the Eibishter's world, you want to go over to the Sneh, it has to be a surah navera. You have to move away from where you are in order to go close. And I want to say I'm not talking about if it has to be said, it has to be said, but I'm really not talking about Chas v'Sholem, Ragom, or I'm for sure that if it has to be spoken about, it has to be spoken about. But what I really wanted to say, something that's more shaykh in our gassen, something that needs to be said, is that there are many hanachas ha'ilam that creep into our life with a hechsher. And it has to be said that these things are arlas alev. This is what arlas alev is. It's arla, for sure, aveda is arlas alev, for sure. But we know also taifas heter is arlas alev. Something that has a hechsher could also be arlas alev. And arlas alev means Chaim Moshe.
Chaim Moshe. Comes that's it.
Arlas alev means.
Come. Chaim.
Chaim. Ich soll sagen weiter. Wir wissen nicht verschweigen. Viel nicht mit alle Chaim. Oh gosh.
This is a mic, yeah. He's washed. It's Malam Malka. It's a mechaper for all the Malam Malkas he didn't wash. Let's try this one again.
Wow, I good year. Mashallah. Gaan het Shalom gekeken.
How was Shabbos? Shabbos Shekuli 770.
My own record.
Ah.
1 second, I'll come take a look.
No, I heard you were Cooler 770.
No, it's going to record. No,
Oh, he wants to get in front of the camera.
I want to be also in the frame.
Come, I'll clear his space. I just want to say the Gan Saimus, and then I'll let you Farbrengen. I see, Baruch Hashem, everyone wants to be connected to the Eibishter. Everyone wants to be Sur Mirah. But there's a lot of nibbling around the edges that happens. That there are things that pull down everybody around us that's doing certain things. It's pulling them down. And instead of staying away from it, we try to find a way to do it with a hechsher. There's certain kinds of social media and celebrities and the alamaises. You mach shush, but afungas that does. Baruch Hashem, we have now our own celebrities and we have our own Instagram channels and TikTok channels and outs Chassidishkeit for sure. Chassidim on tour and I don't know what. Baruch Hashem, I don't know what. But I'll tell you that the kinder verkishift about this personality, that personality. These are goyish anochas, they are goyish yonim, and they are arlas alev. They are preventing us from really feeling and connecting to the Eibishter. And the fact that they have a hechsher matters not a kihuza. Obviously, we worse without a hechsher, not to say, but to take it away from that category. We want to do tshuva. You want to come back. You want to do slicha. What do you mean? You want to just say I'm sorry, and my kids will tell each other you're not sorry if you don't stop doing it. So if you're going to stay living in this world and embracing all the narishkeit that is only mechazik yeshus u'metzias and only mechazik time tanugim and tafnuke elamazah. If you're gonna embrace that mebei the back and mebei the hand, what's the slicha mechila? Yeah, you're sorry that you did a watch that and you're sorry about it. It was a shayk. Totally thought it said OU, and you found out that it was actually milk and such. OUD. It was like but you switched to a different product. But if what are you really about? What are we really here for? We're really here to say that we are Chassidim. We want to be connected to Ilon L'Chaya. We want to feel the electricity of Kedusha V'Tara. We want to be on fire. We want to live in the Eibishter. These things are the antithesis, even if they're kosher. And if the Eibishter created us, and the Eibishter created us exactly where we are. And somebody that wakes up in the morning, 1,000 miles away from the Eitz HaChaim, and he's depressed, and he's hard on himself that there's no way that he could snap his fingers and be there. And he says that he's only shaykh to get one step closer, and he's disappointing the Eibishter. He's a nar. Because the Eibishter is the one that gave him his wingspan. The Eibishter is the one that gave him his foot span. The Eibishter knows how much he can accomplish in a day. So if the Eibishter gave you 70 years of work, the Eibishter is not disappointed if you do a day's worth of. The Eibishter is not disappointed, Mandy, if you make a day's worth of progress in a day. You're still 70 years away from shleimus in your asagas. So you're all depressed. And I still have this concern, that concern. The Eibishter give you more concerns than you can deal with in a day. It's fine. But we have to at least set our sights and set our feet. Slicha means that we should realize what we want and what we don't want, and we should work towards getting rid of the things we don't want. I don't know if anybody wants to hear that, but
I'm hearing.
But that's what I have to say.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
The Eibishter is L'meichel v'Selech Zayin, and we should ask sincerely. And asking sincerely means saying, Eibishter, when I have a choice between self-indulging, when I have a choice between indulging in myself, and enjoying, I am going to choose Eibishter because I know that that's really what I want. That's really what's good.
Gets the first l'chaim.
What does he say?
A pledge. Did you ever want this Shabbos? A Yid gives a pledge, and the Eibishter will ensure that becomes the mitzvah.
But you have to write it down.
I still have to get my pledge from last year.
I
didn't write down. Yeah, that week left. I have to write down tonight. Just be a chassid. You know what? Write it down. I'm not saying don't write it down. The Rebbe said, stop being a schwanz. So stop being a schwanz. Not that's all. And write down your yonu. Machnish from the Rebbe of a bunch of scholars and yonu. This is Baba Mises. Hayem Yechav Bezel. Tavshin Pei Gimel, Tavshin Mem Dal, Tavshin Lamed Days. The Rebbe said from the Baal Shem Tov, then the Magid, then the Alter Rebbe, then the Middle Rebbe, then the Tzemach Tzedek, then the Marash, then the Rebbe Rashab, then the Rebbe Rayatz, then the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach Shlita. Stop being a schwanz. Connect to the Eibishter. Not one day, not Chav Beis Shvat, not Chav Beis El, not Chav Tes. Every single day to make one day's progress towards being less of a yesh and finding Avos Hashem, finding Yiras Hashem. Don't. This other stuff is very important, but these are the bells and the whistles. It's like you go to the car store and the first thing you buy is air freshener. You go to the car store to buy a car, and then you put in the air freshener after. The main thing is the car. The main thing is Avodas Hashem, Avos Hashem, Yiras Hashem, Kabbalah Sil, and all these extra stuff. Chaz v'shalom not to be memayet and to be backed in. But this. Mandy, jeder sagt, I'm a big fan. You know, I said that the decade of the pays, every pay is pays. Pay is fanaticism. I mean, pay is fanaticism. Trei is fanaticism. Bakoil, trei is fanaticism. Gedoilo, degula, fanaticism. I'm a big fan of fanaticism. You want to be Meshuggah? That is always for me better than not being Meshuggah. You want to be Meshuggah about writing down tzedakahs. You want to be Meshuggah about everything. I'm not saying, but machnish from them the ikr. The ikr is let go of yourself. Everybody's running to do every school. A big not to let go of himself. Let go of yourself.
Today, Chaim l'chaim. Chaim, hear me. Chaim l'chaim. Shemi. Chaim Meir. ביחד, בוא, ביחד. l'chaim. Then you know tshuva, the Alter Rebbe writes, Getz already said the whole emes. Everything now is going to be commentary. Okay? The bells and whistles. It's like, yeah, the Alter Rebbe, no. The Alter Rebbe's a maimer is Tvar Avaya. The Alter Rebbe explains in a maimer, Vosidos tshuva. And he says, what does it mean to return, Moshe? What does it mean to return to the Eibishter? A Yid doesn't go away. The Eibishter is Malay Kalar, it's Kveidei. The Eibishter,
Mandy's gonna explain sophisticated, huh?
Looked like Zaxxon.
This
has the same effect as
Zaxxon. No, I bought this.
Okay, good. So Stella, go.
I'm just telling you, Mandy's gonna talk complicated, and it's very important. But you say, don't move away from pshittis.
He already introduced that.
We'll get back to you. He sent me out of the room. He wanted to make sure I should say it again.
Okay.
Get there.
Because that's our own.
I know social media. Don't worry, me and
See, that's why Yossi said I should give him examples. What I'm talking about, I told him it's a heartfelt example. A bad example is worse than no example, because when you say It's coffee, and then you say ice cream. People, either it's so up to scratch that they're talking about. Yeah, the base. Yeah, the image not say.
Okay.
Sorry. Adkan my
So,
Ramu.
this is the Alter Rebbe's Abar. Is that what that's? What are you saying? So the Alter Rebbe asks, what does it mean a person? What does it mean a person does tshuva? He returns to the Eibishter. Well, the Eibishter is everywhere, at all times. Let's say he's coming back. So the Alter Rebbe says, what does it mean to turn away? The Alter Rebbe says, two friends, if they're facing back to back, it's a Gemara also. If they're facing back to back, they cannot be farther. If they're pashut, if they're not on the same page. The closeness b'metzias doesn't make a difference. Yeah. B'meila, what is tshuva? Tshuva says the Alter Rebbe is achzaras panim b'panim. Achzaras panim b'panim means, in simple terms, in simple English, is his face. His face is where he wants to be. The face represents efo ben adam munach. And achzaras panim b'panim means that the Eibishter has never, the Alter Rebbe says this mamash b'feidish. The Eibishter never turned away. What does it mean? We are always his pnimius, meaning we are always the reason the Eibishter created the world. It doesn't matter what a Yid did or does, Rahman al-Islam. The Yid is always the pnimius of the kavan of the Eibishter. Pnimius Ratzon is what his end result, end goal is of the whole creation of the entire world is Am Yisrael. The problem is when we turn away and our pnimius Ratzon is not the Eibishter. Person gets carried away, like Reb Getzel was saying. He was saying more the cause. Could be social media, could be kol minei zachen, wittich sherim, anach sherim. Also said gesagt is emes. But the fact is, what happens is, a person is not all about his relationship with the Eibishter. He's not all about his, the Mordek of Maisa. He's a Mordek of Maisa. The court case of Mendel Bayless. Court case of Mendel Bayless. So the advocate, the defending Sanigor, yeah, lawyer, his lawyer, the Rebbe Rashab actually was very, very, very deeply involved. His name was Ginsburg. He was a secular Yid. And the Rebbe Rashab wanted to review his speech, his opening statements, and he also a Himmeldiker thing. The Rebbe Rashab wanted it should say he should finish his statement Shema Yisrael Hashem Hashem Echad. And it's very interesting. There's one thing that old Deli Yisrael went a little bit ballistic. There was something he was posed a question, and he answered an answer that everyone was masking was loyalty Erikot. It was like the lawyer's answer. It was like Min HaShamayim. They asked him a question. They asked him, they were obviously in the context of believing that by a Yid, killing a guy is not such an afkemina. So they said, it says in Torah that Yisrael, that Am Yisrael is goy echad ba'aretz. There's one nation. Kol hashar tapet. Everything else is not. So what's the chiddush in Cain that he doesn't care about the life of a child? Because he was saying dumb. So, like this, he answered. He said, that all the nations of the world, if they commit a crime, first thing you say, Johnny did this and this. John Dow, you know what he did? Oh, what religion is he from? Shine is a Protestant. Whatever. It comes afterwards. There's no. A Yid does a crime. A Yid does something. First thing, he's a Yid. Then afterwards, what's his name is less relevant. I'm saying what he did is also relevant. So he said, "There's goy echad ba'aretz. There's only one nation in the world that their essence is their nation. Their essence is who is he? You don't introduce him. You never introduced him to the media. His name is Hudson Flutz. His name is a Yid. Nachtem, his name is less relevant. And they all knew it was true. All the anti-Semitic sitting around, Yadush is a me'achuz kacha, and they accepted the answer. And there cannot have been a better answer. All Deli Yisrael were mesmerized. Zeigia mishumakom. This answer. But klape ma dvarim amorim, a yid be'etzem is a yid. He's not mayor, he's a lohu. A yid is a yid shabai. He a yid is a chelik of the kami mal. He has a mishpacha of yidden. And be'etzem, he is part, a yid lives Yiddishkeit. Yiddishkeit is not a sideline profession when he does it after hours. He's first a yid. That overrides everything else. That is called panim bepanim. When a yid lives his life, not just in a moment of a serious nefesh. Now, when a yid lives his life, that be'etzem, what am I here for? I'm here for a Yiddishkeit. What I have a mishpacha for, what I have. If he's doing anything, whatever he's doing, he's eating, he's drinking, he's sleeping, Berosh Mayana is because this is my avodah. Because this is what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants I should have a family. The Eibishter wants it should be B'nucha, Ba'achva, it should be Pasig, it should be in a way that's Noyam Alichas. Everything that has a place within the Eibishter. But the context is, he's Goyacha Ba'aretz. That is called Pan B'Pan. That's called a Yid that's facing the Eibishter. And L'chaim. So let's be all that Rebbe Kolas, man. L'chaim. So Alter Rebbe says, so what's a Yid? A Yid faces with his panim. His pnimius is the Eibishter. All his chitzonius and ratzon, what I do for a living and where I go and why I'm doing, it's all leading to why I'm taka here. That's panim bepanim. A Yid faces the Eibishter. That's called a kruvim pnei mishalachit. What happens is a person gets so distracted with what he's busy with. And just to explain for a second, in Chassidus, if a person wants to go to the doctor's office, he has an appointment and he has to cross the place. He has to go down Albany and go down on President and go down the face. He's going to ODA. So she's going down this, that. So Snapshot, he wants to be on President Street. He wants to be on Crown Street. He wants to be there. That's Chitzayim Yisrael because B'Pnim Yisrael he wants to get there. If he was a way to get there without it, Al Derech Yid Be'etzem he's searching Eibishter. Why is he here, there? That's because this is the way the Eibishter wants me to go through the day to bring geld to be able to be in finance my mishpacha so the kinder don't wax near Shemayim. Father should have time to learn. Should be everything the Eibishter wants. The Pnimis Aratzin is the Eibishter. The problem is when you get so carried away, it's such a long journey that you start thinking about President Street and about Crown Street as this is where I'm at. A person gets so carried away with Chitzanis Aratzin, with where he's at, with that he say tonight's a gesund zach. A person is good. I want to tell you on the day, Moshe, that we're all asking Mechila from the Eibishter. We're all talking precisely about our distractions, and we're distracted. Yidden getting carried away. Aveda doesn't happen. You should know. Aveda what we're really asking Mechila for the Aveda, the Eibishter has a lot of hand. The Eibishter with Michael Zayn. The Eibishter is going to be Michael. What we really have to ask Mechila is for what brought about that Aveda. When a Yid is distracted with other things, it's very easy to knock him off balance. When a Yid is not, his Pnimis is not facing the Eibishter, so it's very easy for everything else to get in the way, and for a person, in the context of where he's holding, what he's at, up, before he notices, he could get carried away. He's like Yatzel's father says, so Zach heißt Atzutschepenish. Yasser Shemergat. I want to say something about the camera. Baal Shem Tov, when he was a little boy, Rabbi Yossi, come Zetzach. When Baal Shem Tov was a little boy, his father was about to pass away. Very dramatic. You hear Yossi? His father was about to pass away. His name was Rabbi Eliezer, and he had two things to tell his son. Eine is, "Los lib haben jeder Yid." The second one is, "Los nicht mehr haben von kein Sachen der Welt, nur von der Eibishter allein." Listen to me. Everyone thinks about the Baal Shem Tov being in the forest with a beer, and it's nicht mehr haben. That's also true. That's nicht mehr haben from plastic and from nach Sachen. Chaim, no, the emes is if we're emes and we have if we're saying whatever you're ready to say here, you say. If you're not ready to say, was nicht sagen, ich nicht dort. And ein Roye Weisen Shermas is even when it's not broadcasted. The Eibishter hört sich zu, and the Eibishter guckt sich zu. Elamai, the problem is if we're distracted. The emes is, when does a person get carried away? When he's not facing the Eibishter. When Pneim is not Ishalachim. And you should know that in the time of the Churban, says the Gemara, the Yidden went in, when the Romans went into the Beis Hamikdash, they found the Kruvim Ma'urim Zebazah. Kamar Ishval V'Yasai. They were together, they were facing each other. Punkt yet, and they took it out of them. Punkt yet, that's the time. You should know that when a Yid is Sukrachen and Farkrachen, like we're coming now, and we're talking about people that are serious. We're not talking about people to say I'm sorry the way I have when Cheder, that one kid, okay, you know what? Or is that I'm sorry? Because you fought with him, you were fighting with him. Zog I'm sorry. Zasat, I'm sorry, that's the fetish. I mean, let me shift to me skin. Zasat, sorry, retten dich nicht. Talking about people that attack, it's about it. This year could have been nicer. And we're not going to harp on the problem because it's not helpful for the Eibishter. It's not because some people like to sulk in it. For the Eibishter, it's not beneficial. But Elamai, but we are ready. When we come to ask Mechila, what we're befeired saying is we're not planning to do it again. And B'meila, what we are planning is to be focusing and remember what are we here for. Each one of us before we got married, we wrote a letter to the Rabbi. You want a binyan adayad. I said a Torah v'amitzvah. It's going to be a Yiddish home, permeated with the values of Torah and Chassidus. I said a Torah v'amitzvah, like the Rabbi's bracha that the Eibishter should have nachas. And Elamai, the Rambam has this moira de kenusach. He says hayoshnim b'havlei azman. B'havlei azman. People fall asleep and they get carried away in the nothingness of time. I want to tell you, this is the whole year. And the wake-up call is now. When a Yid asks Mechila, what he really wants to do is he wants to do tshuva. He wants to face the Eibishter. He wants to remind himself that be'etzem, why did I get into this whole story? Why are you, Isaiah like Zagan, it says, not Zagan Anigin, but he used to say Azai, Moshe Rubin used to say Azai, he used to say, Lamate Yosef, Lamate Menashe. Lamata Yosef. A Yid came down in this world, Lamata Yosef. So two Gavin and Gatla. That was the plan. Yeah, Mayor. Lamata Yosef. A Yid came down in this world to be Yosef, to make ourselves and Gatlachkeit, to expand the Malucha of the Eibish's kingdom. Lamai said that was all nice in theory. Lamata Menashe. When he came Lamata, Menashani, he forgot what he was doing over here. He just got carried away with a whole bunch of narishkeit. Not that he wanted fakert, he just. So when a person comes into a room, when a person comes into a room, and he forgets why he came here. You ever happened to you? You came and you were looking for something, and then all of a sudden, this never happened to me. And he forgets what did I come here for? And then you feel dumb, right? So he said, Lamata Menashe, when you come down in the world, Lamais and the Neshama got carried, forgot what he was doing. So he said, Gadi. Gadi is in Agdia, is in Russian. Look at the Zog. Is that not Ben Susi? It's not a little fed. Ben Susi, it's not just a little fed. Fayid came down in this world with a whole plan. The Abish said, Arab Ginum and Neshama, Chatzuv Mitachas Kisei HaKavod. And then it came down here and he wasn't sure. It should be spicy mayo. So this nishkin kleine fed. So this,
Should be sweet.
Oh, so the first of all, is the gate Zainas this year. That's for sure. This is granted. You know that the Avino is Malkeinu. Because obviously the Tata is this a year gate Zain. We just want to be in line. Tshuva is we shouldn't get carried away with we got into a room and what's going on. What are we busy with? Lamaisa, when a person makes a ksachakol of his year, you're working in Drain Zokin. I remind myself that I was once in a in Petropolis, there was a shliach came to fundraise in Brazil. And he came to fundraise. You know that in Brazil it's like Grace Gvinim. So there's two classes. There's like real filthy rich and so he came to his friend, and the kids. He came. He was just staying in Petropolis. That's where he learned. His heart was there, and he was in Palo fundraising. The kids are. He came at night, and he came to Farbrengen with the Bachran and Yeshiva, and he said, "I want to share with you. I always come." He comes to Shnar. He says he went today to one of his friends that learned with him in Yeshiva, and the Yid told him, "Listen, I'll tell you the truth. It looks like I'm a gvir, and I am a gvir because he's drained geld." I'm saying, but the fact is, I don't have fluid cash. Like it's I'm in chayvus right now, like tens of thousands of dollars. I don't have geld available. Not only that, my heart is pumping. I'm in chayvus. Like it's invested that could turn into all of a sudden a lot of geld. But the mitzvah is right now, it doesn't work. So he said, and man, I'm not in a position of giving now. So he came back to Yeshiva, where I was, and he was Farbrengen. He said, I want to tell you like this. Honestly, between me and you, me and him are in the same amount of chayvus. We both are in the same amount of chayvus. Elamai, he had a sock company. I was draining neshamas. My chamanas, I was pumping neshamas. He was busy draining zaken. So I want to tell you that we all, Baruch Hashem, we're working for a living. And the Pnimis Ratzon means many of us could be draining zaken. I'm not saying just to cover. But the fact is, Avu is the Pnimis Ratzon. At the end of the day, we could be draining, we not could be. Meir, kol echad sheyesh lanu yiladim, the Lord accept Paul, kol echad shepo, has surrounding, has people around him. Moshe, loves us up. Even now. Moshe, all of us have neshamas that are waiting for us to be mekadosh them. And talking about neighbors and even neighbors that live in your house, create children, a wife.
I hope they're not neighbors.
They could be b'pchinas neighbors la'isata until you decide panim bepanim. My shlichus is them, and I want to tell you that this hachzaras panim bepanim, this is a real nekudah. I'm not saying it clear. Rabbi Yusewitz talking clear, and I hot made it from the. The hachzaras panim bepanim means a yid knows I get up in the morning. My life is for the neshamas that I'm being, for these neshamas, for these children, and for what? I know to make them happy, and they should be wholesome. It's noch narishkeit. Getzel's not here to be shaylo. We're here. They should be frume yidden, edle freiliche chassidische yidden. And you should know that this is your pnimis haratzon. You don't even have to tell them anything. You don't have to say anything. If that's where you live by, that's where they're at. And the truth is that that's where we are at. We have to be Megala Yid. What is he alive for? Abbas, what is his primis haratzon for? What does he get up in the morning? This is what we're doing tshuva for. Because you know that throughout the year, I'm not talking about me or you or anyone here. We're talking about theoretically. Hypothetically, they get up in the morning and they know they have a job. When they get to the job, they get involved in the job. It's about the job and about the people with the job. To the extent that the Eibishter is not the pnimi. It's not the real reason he got up here. And the Eibishter is already not the story of this job. Anyways, l'chaim. We should be like the Alter Rebbe says, machzer panim bepanim. Face the Eibishter again. Ask Mechila for all the time that we were distracted Yidden, that we got carried away with assuming that our life was about this, and he told me this, and Yanad Megazak. Like it's mamish. It's not petty as a shracha part for this. When a Yid gets carried away, that person looked at me as and this person said Azay, and he should have, and maybe he looks at me like this. When a Yid gets carried away with such a thing, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. It's the nose from such a thing. It's not the Ben Melech that the Eibishter sent down here on a mission. It's not the Tzir. It's the Walmart, Yossi. It's the Walmart. L'chaim. We should ask Shiva b'leiv shalom. Leiv shalom means that we decided moide v'oizev. We're going to be focused, Yidden, and we're Pashat going to focus on what the Eibishter wants us to focus. And we'll be clear, not get distracted. Chaim, hear me. Chaim, don't make Huh? Ich mach es doch da in public. I'm doing it right over here. It's a scary part of the Reb Marash. Reb Marash the one is up. It's not so. Reb Marash the one is up. That people, carpenters, they step on the piece of wood. People are working glass, step on the piece of glass. In the work area, mechanchas, they step on the shams. Heavy. If you're younger than me, let's both be in the same boat, Achi. Hey, man, these are the mayor Shleimus not niggin. Rachamana de ane la ne no. Hey, Rachamana de ane la ne no. Rachamana de Ayaneno, Rachamana de Ereliba, Ayaneno, Rachamana de Anelani. Morty, Ari, give me the time. Give me the time. You give me. No, Rachamana de Anelesvire. Have a good one. I want to answer Martha Shana. Huh? Martha says a good. Martha asked me, "What's the chazan nefesh of mechanech?" Edel gedet. And I'm telling you, and each one of us should take this vart to heart. It's a very scary vart. The Rebbe Marash Tamal gesagt that a carpenter steps on stam in terms of his work in his workplace, steps on broken pieces of wood, little shreds of shims and stuff. A person that works with glass is making blowing kalim, so he steps on pieces of glass. The mechanech tret af neshamas. Nice, huh?
Yeah. Probably some of them are Mahader on the stepping.
Let's not vent now. I know that the world of chinuch is under. Right. So I want to say, first of all, so the Moed asked another shayla. So what's taka? How does that happen? How does a yid tret af neshamas? And honestly, just to broaden the discussion. If you go buy a yid that needs a vart of chizuk and you're too busy, that's as stepping on a shamas. Alamai, the only reason why the Ramash said it on a malamed is because he steps, I could step on 20 in one shot. But that's it. Rabbi Faz, this is all of us, right? Uli. If you're walking cold me'achicha tzoyikim alayim and adama, you have a whole bunch of yidden that you know in shul that you know could use you. Could use a shmeicha. It's as stepping as neshama. You're as good as the malamdim that you're bashing. Elamai, the chinuch system. Elamai. So the Martha asked a good shayla. He said, "Hey, Bazoy, so what are we coming today, Bishte? We gotta go to the kinder, start working." So I want to tell you that it's such a good shayla. I had a different shayla that answered, and I had an answer that answered this also. I'm telling you honestly, I had a shayla this today. About technische shaila and Pash Pirsha knows. But you cut the Maitzai Menucha Kidam Nucha Tchila in the whole Nusach HaSlichos, we're getting up early. We never got up early. We Pasha never went to sleep. What's the whole? It's like Mamish Kidam Eibishter. Yerocham Shemesh. But when the sun comes up, we come. We never want to do it. We stretch Motzei Shabbos long enough that we're here. You got up in the morning. I want to tell you to cut out sleep. I gave a shir Rambam at night. Then I started giving a shir Chumash in the morning. When you have to cut out sleep is a different story. Different story. A guy gets a kidam nucha tchila. What he decided to go to sleep to make a late night. What's the word? Elamai. So I just had this shaila. What's I'm I was thinking about this. The whole we're making it sound like kidam nucha to mamish. We came here early. Elamai. So I want to say Azoi. So the thought that I had, and it also answers this shaila.
We didn't want to make the same mistake you even made on shore.
Right. We made sure. Oh, very good.
Shiloh's, how do you know if you're from Middle Slichos?
No. We all Lubavitch and Mekun Vakel the Gehate. We're the only ones that taka. You should know. You know. That have Pashat are thinking about Slicha because the words are going by. I'm saying Yid nach L'chaim. The main thing is where he decided it's a Chavegestelt. He's coming to ask I'm sorry. The words sometimes it's Nislabish in the Verde, Mal just the Kavanah, the Verde Rukenzach. It's like the Rambam map, you know. So that's a good mashal. So so what's the answer? The answer is I want to say a Yid sometimes. Where's Yossi? A Yid sometimes. A Yid does Aveda. I forget Aveda. A Yid. Our real problem is we don't believe that we're Shaykh to more. You should know that everybody here, and we're about to come to Rosh Hashanah. It's all shtiklach flesh. The Metzias is all people. It's all karetz mechaymer. The Eibishter decided. He made shtiklach. Why is one person better at this and Yana is better at that and this person? Because the Eibishter decided. The etzem, the chaymer is the same chaymer. It's not saying the Eibishter you gave him height and beiner. I'm saying what? Elamai. The Eibishter decided this person's going to be this and that, but etzem every the shaykh to everything. The emes is sidna da arachadu. So he's like the Gemara. It's all one ground. Everything. A person is shaykh to be anything he decides. A Yid is part of Chelik Alakam Imal Mamish, and his neshama is part of the boy is nitzutz boira. He be'etzem is shaykh to be whatever he avur leiktich. Okay, he could put himself the wrong thing. Good. But I'm saying as metref too. A Yid is shaykh to believe. We all know that bitachon is shaykh. He's taking low key. I should do us later. I was thinking of it. I'm telling you, it's a stage of that for everything.
He's not saying L'chaim.
That's the problem. Rice it together because that's the problem. Bubbling rice. He's bubbling and bubbling and it bleibt kalt. That's the word that seltzers, you know. Bubbling and bubbling and it bleibt kalt. Mashka definitely bubbling. Ken's like it's better. Anyways, so a Yid betzem is shaykh to where a Yid puts himself is shaykh. I just told you that's a more good thing. I don't know, it's my experience, and it could be everybody has this experience. Getzel also told me anything you decided you're gonna do that you really want, but not time you decided it's a wish list. You decided you're gonna make it happen. You have this dream that you're gonna do this. If it reaches a certain powerful level of ratzon, even if you forget about it, one day you're gonna get it. You agree with that? Yechi. I'm telling you that I this has been my experience. It's something, yeah, I'm saying this the guy gets up, listen, in my bank account, so it's in go. Meir, it's a nachon or nachon? Meir. Ein ze nachon, I'm פעם חשבת, שמע, אני אעשה ככה, שכחת מזה. And the Eibishter said, אבל you said I'm gonna do it, not pshat you said I wish I had. You decided you're gonna get up and do it, and now's not the time. The Eibishter is mezam, a person should do it. I've seen this being in season, and it's kedai to mention now because we're starting a year. So whatever I found that achlotas is simchas teda, even if I wasn't matzliach that year, I was matzliach to do it. And sometimes I even forgot. I'm saying it came around and I did it. So why? Because a yid decides, a yid when is machlit, he has this koyach. I got to come at 5 already. So how was I? How I got that?
So you did.
Oh. Oh, what gets in the way? What gets in the way of a yid being a yid? Rabbi. What gets in the way of us doing what we're supposed to do? You should know is our egina belief, our egina avedis. You should know the Eibishter is Michael. I once said this. The guy, you stand in 770 and then Yidin Veinin. Meir Tatire, Anashim 770, she או שבוכים, או שרוקדים, אבל באמת מבקשים סליחה. And the Eibishter, I promise you, Machalan, he was Michael. And they hold on to the Aveda. They're never ready to say, you know what, the Eibishter was Michael. Finished. Now I'm a new man. Sky's the limit. They're still holding on. They're ready for another 5 years to bet Mechila for the same Aveda. As long as we are still in our comfort zone. This is me. This is what I do. I'm the Mela. Are you masking finish? Ken. גם אני מכיר. לחיים. פה אנחנו מדברים. פה אני יודע שאנחנו הפסקנו לגרוס פה את הפלסטיק. לחיים. This, we are not ready to let go. The Aveda, the Eibishter is ready to let go. When you ask Mechila, you have to be ready for the guy, for the person you're asking, and say, I'm Michael. Let's rebuild the relationship. I don't know that it ever happened. Finished. And we continue. And this you should know that gets in the way. It's called Megloibinish. We don't believe that it's ever going to finish. Got to like the Chaim Itano? לא, אז תתחיל לחיים. Good. It's a hobo לבן.
הכל, תערבב.
Listen, תן לו שתיהם.
I start with the iron.
תגיד, אתה הולך לבקש מחילה היום? אז תגיד לחיים. תגיד לחיים. אני צריך שמישהו ימזוג לי ככה, אומרים שצריך לעשות. לא, אומרים זה ככה צריך לעשות.
תשאל את גץ, לא יגיד לך אחרת.
לא, זה צנח.
לחיים. חיים. זג,
שיהיה לנו, אנחנו נשכח מהדברים שלנו, נשכח מהעבודות שלנו גם.
יפה! עוד פעם, זג אנחנו על מי לא שמע.
But in the water before. You need to be ready for that.
Not so many conditions. We don't, good.
חיים, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם.
אמן.
כל התמונות צריכים להיות
הופה. תגיד לנו עוד פעם, תגיד עוד פעם. You loaded, אחי.
תמיד.
עוד פעם, תגיד.
All the takes. And we want the Kodesh Baruch Hu all take us. We want the Kodesh Baruch Hu take us so חיים, תיקח גם לחיים, שהוא יפוגד את כל העוונות שלנו.
כן. לחיים. חיים שנייה, לחיים. חיים מאיר, לחיים. I'll explain. So what's the Nakuda? The Nakuda is that we, Ma'aseh B'Poyel, the Eibishter is Moichel. We're not ready to let go of the Aveda. We're not ready to let go of the understanding that we are pushing new people and we could start a new life and we have no connection to the problem. And this, you should know, how do you get past it? How does a person get past when he has ergloibnish that he's shaykh to something else? How do you get past it? So there's sitting, you could sit for Toizen Shan therapy and you still won't get past it. I don't know what they say there, but whatever they say. I'm sure they could tell you a lot, but they make a long-term business out of it. Anything, a long-term business out of a problem, already I have a problem with. I'm saying, no, there's some things you need to farbrengen. There's some things that need to take time. I'm not saying that I'm not mevatel everything with chiyad. We have a whole bunch of therapists in the cheder and they do wonderful work, which will need express. But what I'm saying is, there's something far more powerful. You know what's more powerful than that? when a person does what he ki'ilu was afraid of, and then b'mitzias, I'm doing it. You understand? Let's say a person was afraid of public speaking. Stam, I'm saying, yeah. Person was afraid of public speaking, and then he gets up and he speaks in public, or someone brings the mitzias is you're not afraid anymore. You're just doing it. You understand? That's it. That's what's going on. He's not besimcha. You just have to wake up and smell the coffee. You're dancing right now. It's just simple. You understand? It's just
doing it again. It's not necessarily becoming easier.
You should know that what it does is it doesn't make it easier, but it breaks that notion in your head that you're not shaykh to it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, good.
No, it's not.
Mikol Zavit,
Give him more.
אני אגיד לך, למה אנחנו פוחדים שלא כל, not everybody's giving you לחיים. אני פוחד שלא כל לנו שלך.
תעשור לו קצת. התמונות יראו יותר טוב.
Amen. So, בקיצור, the most נגיע, how much went into the process? Chaim Michal. You should know that Michal Nachum did an unbelievable thing. He made a hakel. I heard it was 80% out of Crown Heights. 80% was not Crown Heights. Levi Hill told me. Hackers. Hack the system. Anyways, l'chaim. Let me just finish this nakuda. This nakuda you have to understand until the end. Just let me try to wrap this nakuda up. That a yid b'atzim, what gets in his way of das is his own limiting beliefs. Because yesterday I wasn't matzliach, tomorrow I'm not going to be matzliach. And even the Eibusha gives you a new chance and puts opportunities. Zelorat, lamahu adayin takua. He still believes that he's there. He knows himself from yesterday. And the fact, what helps a person get past it? One of the things is a person is doing it. He's doing it. And you should know, this is the answer. What's pshat in my time? What's pshat? He's asking Mechila. Mechila is pshat. Mechila is I got up early to ask Mechila from you. No. Here, the Ratzach Hazai. You know what? I not only asked Mechila, I decided to do what I was always afraid to do. Understand what I'm saying? It's part of the tshuva process. Yossi, you're masking with this word. Huh? Yossi, you're masking with this word. What's pshat metzay menucha kidam nucha tchila? Not only I'm asking mechila early, pshat is I decided to do what I believed I couldn't do. I decided to daven in Shped by Nacht, to vet mechila by the Eibishter. That's it. Forget about the whole Torah. I was gonna think that maybe I'm shaykh, I'm not shaykh. The whole thing you let go and you started, Reuben. You decided I'm gonna do what the Eibishter said. I'm just gonna get up and do it. And I want to tell you that this nekuda is the emes. The emes is just do it. You're not gonna sleep on it. You're just gonna do it. I'm telling you, I had this shayla. What's the pshat? My tzoi minucha kidam nucha tchila. Come, settle down. I say, Gala, what are you doing? Would have came later. Even this wouldn't be. Chaim l'chaim. I want to tell you that what my tzoi minucha kidam nucha tchila is pshat. As we're machad given a ton, was we're gewalt ton. And you should know that this is the din of tshuva. This is the din of tshuva. Real tshuva, here's Yossi. Emes at tshuva is that we decide that what we wanted to do, we just do it. Why did I remind myself? Was tun mir da? I'm getting gleich to the kinder. And achanami. Azay zeta is the tzir from Machanach. You should know that how could it be that a person steps on a shamas, whether it's his wife, whether it's his children, whether it's his neighbors. It happens when a yid is not focused. She was a little bit focused. When a yid is not focused, what happens is everything becomes in the frame. Everything going on in the frame is equally valuable. You could sit by a Farbrengen. What happens? That a yid, he's meant to have zero in. He's supposed to zero in like a camera. He's supposed to zero in. This is what the picture is about, and everything else is blurred. Okay, it's all about the Eibishter and what I do for a living, and if I have geld or don't have geld, what type of house I live in, and the type of car I drive. It's irrelevant. Either it helps the Eibishter, it doesn't help the Eibishter. One of the two, but the focus is still the Eibishter. The second is no focus. What happens is everything is in the frame. When everything is in the frame, then you're not sure what am I here for? What am I looking at this picture for? Is there something of it? It's a find me, you know? And that's how life becomes. It's a find me. You understand? What am I exactly? When I came into, what did I get here? Gadi ben Susi. What's been a dog? What's two dog? That's how life's at this. That's a problem. And b'meila, what we're here to do is not only to ask mechila for the fact that we weren't panim upon him, to start doing it, to start living it. Kidamnucha tchila meant that we decided, you know what? We're not only going to ask mechila, we're going to do what we plan to do. We're going to live the vision that the Eibishter wants us to ask mechila for. Let's start doing it. I got up in the, listen, you know what? I'm supposed to be getting up in time. But you know what? Not now. Make it now. Just get up and do it. And the truth is that it's easier to hit snooze. We'll get to it. It's not pshat. The far kidamnocha tchila. It's not pshat. We're gonna have this perfect slicha mechila. I want to tell you in Lubavitch, it's from other places. The slicha mechila doesn't look as beautiful as it would sound when you're going. I started up with you. And me come under your dad that I started out with you many times this year. I didn't mean it. It's not how the slicha looks in 770. It's how it looks between me and you. That's how it looks in 770. A yid is megalas etzem and a shaman. He's mamish a gisach and their tans to their vein. But it's much more that a yid is their hoib. He's not really thinking about his mistake and was ken zayn shener. Why is that? Because a yid takes a test. Because the vart is to take it a step beyond slicha. Don't just ask the Eibishter. Just start doing it. What's the Eibishter? You should ask beautifully. It should be a beautiful ask. What is this, a donation? You should push it. Find a lemon be a yid. Dav might have say Krishma. 1 o'clock is the time a chassid should be saying Krishma Shalom. You should know. Evidently, based on this, say the slichas. He should say kacha tzarich lirot. Anyways, l'chaim. Kidamnucha tchila yasi meant that a yid decides he's going to live the vision. Forget about was is given. Show the Eibishter Yeshayach Tzagresses. Show the Eibishter where you're at. Do it. Just do it. Don't listen. If I would have, the Eibishter just set up the circumstances. Also, Narishkeit. You'll have the same boich that same fat is gonna come with you there also. Just start doing it. Hine mate. Oh, Chaim Yemi. Just do it. Rabbi, I want to tell you something. Rabbi Reuben once asked me, Reuben the Tzaddik, he once asked me, you give me the home shishir. Mayor. You were everything. Today, תגיע הרבה יותר מהר איתי. חיימה. הופה, מיכל. היי, שמי, איפה היית? היית איתנו? בלי לחיים היית איתנו. היי, חיים, מקום. Definitely Zucchini. Hey, Rabbi, what are you doing? Rabbi said, in our generation, we don't ask anymore. I was getting it, whatever, but I was like there, we're in a generation that we can't ask. Listen, you have something to ask Avirik Tana. Yossi, the gates of Farbrengen with her own finished. Yossi's like, Shah. You have to face him.
The picture's on the thing.
Okay.
You got on camera.
He's gonna be there the whole 24/7.
Yossi do a smoida. Do a smoida from plastic. So smoida have nerve from the Eibishter Alain.
So the Rebbe says tonight that we come to Slichos with Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem, which means that the Slichos have to come to the Eibishter from a place of really recognizing the Eibishter's Kesher, the Eibishter's love, the Eibishter's deep connection to us beyond anything we've done or beyond anything that we can perceive. And the way we come to Slichos and the way we are open to such a thing is by doing that with our friends and with other Yidden. And this is why we start off when we say, Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem. That a Yid comes to Slichos and a Yid comes to the Eibishter from a place of Kulchem. That all the Yidden, Rashechem, Shiftechem, Shaiv Meimecha, wherever we think we are, we know that the people that think they're Rashechem, they have to come on to the Shaiv Meimecha, the Shaiv Meimecha need to come on to the Rashechem. That a Yid comes completely looking at himself in a different way. A Yid comes forgetting about his whole status of where he puts himself and how he looks within everybody else, but he puts himself in a state of kulchem. He's completely ba'achdus, and he comes with the ibrid gemenkai to another Yid. And when he comes with the bligvul attitude to another Yid, then it's nisgala, the bligvul attitude that the Eibishter has for Yidden. And when we together are coming with a bligvul attitude to each other, that we're here for each other, and we're not putting any limits or conditions or thoughts about one another, and looking at each other from the whole chitzoniistic style and place, and whichever system we want to look at each other, Gashmiya system, Ruchniya system, whatever it is. But in Torah we say Kulchem. And the Rebbe brings a story of a hill paracher that he was trying to search for the Alter Rebbe, and every time he went to a city, the Alter Rebbe wasn't there. And then he came early before the Alter Rebbe came to the city, And then he saw the Alter Rebbe's feet, legs, whatever. He was under the bed, and he had prepared a question in Masechtas Erchin. And the Alter Rebbe came in the room, and the Alter Rebbe said that when a younger man has a question in Erchin, he has to be Meirich himself. When a Yid has a question in how to estimate how much my worth is, how much other people's worth is, then he's completely lost in his own Meirich Zayin. He has to be Meirich himself. He has to see himself in a completely different way. And this is the Nakuda. And in a deeper way, the Rebbe said in the Sikha, that when do we get stuck in our own being Meirich ourselves? When we're forgetting, when we're too focused, and we have so much focus on ourselves, and we're in the world of Bichlal evaluating. But when a Yid is in the world, that he's standing before the Eibishter, and he truly recognizes what does it mean to serve the Eibishter. A Yid truly recognizes what does it mean that he's standing. We're going to be standing in the Dalet Amos of the Rebbe, and we're saying Slichos. A Yid thinks, what does it mean that I'm in the Rebbe's Dalet Amos? When a Yid thinks he's in the Rebbe's Dalet Amos for one moment, his whole Meirich Zayin is completely different. His whole way, how he looks at himself, he looks at other people, is different. And like we were talking about by the Farbrengen today, that it's a Shabbos Tikiyar. And the Rebbe says what that means is that we're not blowing shofar because we're focused so much on the Eibishter. It's not about what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. It was, I don't know, I never saw such a shikha where the Rebbe says the Hayra of Rosh Hashanah coming on Shabbos, and we have to have bittul. I know all the sikhas, the Rebbe usually says like a certain thing, we learn, daven, this. He says you have to have more bittul in what we're doing. The Rebbe says clearly, have bittul. Be focused on on that, be fully irrigeben to what you're doing, that you're not thinking about what you're doing. If you're a person that's separated and you have to think, so you have, I have to blow shofar because I'm this and I have to be mamach Eibishter. Or there's Eibishter. I'm Lifnei Hashem Alikecha. And b'meila, I can't even do anything. Whatever has to get done is going to get done, but it's not about myself. They say there was one time the Chassidim, I don't know, it was World War I or something, they got the Rebbetzin Shterner Sarah, they got her jam. Chassidim spent a lot of money and they got her like this jelly. And then there was a family that came to her and said that someone needs an operation. And the only way the doctor's going to do the operation is if he gets them something sweet. It was like very expensive. So she gave the jelly like this. Chassidim walked by the house and they saw the whole family's laughing that they tricked Rabbi Shterner Sarah and they got this jelly for their family. And they're all eating, toast with jelly in the middle of the war. And the Chassidim spent thousands or whatever, how much it was, to get the Rebbe in this thing. So they came to her and they told her this. So she said, wow, Baruch Hashem, she's so happy they're okay. Baruch Hashem, the Yid, she was so worried that this Yid needs operation and the doctor this, Baruch Hashem, they're okay. Baruch Hashem, they're okay. In other words, it's a little bit of a, like, when do we get stuck in being meirich ourselves when we're so busy being meirich ourselves? When we have time and we're so thinking about this and that, so then we have to free ourselves. Oh, really, I'm this. Oh, no, really, I can be this. Really? The emes is that when we're focused on L'cha Hashem Tzedakah v'lanu b'yishas hapanim, so then we come with the right meirich sign that it's a schus to help another Yid. It's a schus to be a friend of another Yid. It's schus to fully be present to another Yid, to listen to another Yid, to hear another Yid. And with that, we come to Slichos, and it's going to mean Izgala, take for Yamamish, the whole world. like the man was saying, greatness, emes is we have to recognize and to step into what we could do and how great the koiches that we're given l'mayla. There's also in Zen, there's gals from Rabbi, take it, Imam Shulchan.
I am fine.
Rachamana de ane lani yai veyane de ane lani yai veyane Rachamana de ane Ya neno, Rachamana Let's go. Time is flying.
What about two? Two malchus. Because two yidin are one something.
Oh, we have to bench Rabbi side.
So, yeah.
We have to bench. I'm making a time. Yeah.
Oh, I was just in something.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was Superstar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dancing, rolling.
We're getting there.
flags,
We're
washing
almost there.
machines.
We're almost there.
Went from 0 to 6.